Japan's first naval ship, hull number 971. This is Japan Navy. We observed that your SDR. It's time to us. What's the purpose of your act? Over.
우리 군이 일본 초계기에 추적 레이더를 운용하지 않았다는 사실은 변함이 없습니다.
Tensions have flared between South Korea and Japan through year-end and New Year's. Tokyo claimed that a South Korean warship locked its fire control radar on a Japanese maritime patrol aircraft late last year. However, Seoul denied the claim, saying that Japan misinterpreted its naval operation to rescue a North Korean fishing boat that was drifting into international waters of the East Sea. What exactly did happen on the high seas, and whose allegation is true? Let's find out with K-News Today for Korea Now. On December 20 last year, a Kawasaki P-1 patrol aircraft of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force was flying over two South Korean vessels on the high seas, about 200 kilometers to the northeast of the Dokdo Islets in the East Sea. One was the 3,200-ton Kwanggeto, the Great Destroyer of the Navy, and the other was the Sambong 5001, a 5,000-ton Coast Guard rescue boat. They were on a rescue mission for a drifting North Korean fishing boat. In the meanwhile, the Japanese patrol airplane carrying out a surveillance mission was irradiated by a South Korean vessel. The very next day, Japanese Defense Minister Takeshi Iwaya said a South Korean warship had directed fire control radar at the P-1 patrol aircraft on the previous day. Fire control radar is usually employed to pinpoint the location of target for missiles or shells. Therefore, he criticized this incident as an extremely dangerous act. However, South Korean Navy dismissed Tokyo's claim about the targeting of Japanese patrol airplane. Seoul's defense ministry said, "Our military was carrying out a normal operation. It used radar during the operation, but not for the purpose of tracking Japanese patrol aircraft," in a text message sent to reporters on the same day. Despite Seoul's denial, Tokyo raised the issue repeatedly, and on December 28, Japanese Defense Ministry eventually made public a 13-minute-long video clip taken by the maritime patrol aircraft during its surveillance mission. Tokyo released the video, arguing that it backs up its claim that a South Korean naval destroyer targeted the warplane with fire control radar STAR-180. So the question boils down to whether the South Korean destroyer really aimed her STAR-180 toward the Japanese patrol aircraft, and if so, whether it is such a dangerous act enough for Japan to lodge a strong protest. The answer to the latter is yes, because the radar is usually used shortly before a warship fires a missile at a flying target. However, the former is yet to be clarified. First of all, if you watch the video clip closely, it does not offer any clear evidence of the destroyer activating the fire control radar STAR-180 aimed at the patrol airplane. It only proves that the aircraft was targeted by radar, which is within the frequency band enabling alarm. Secondly, South Korea's defense ministry accused Japan of releasing misleading facts, expressing deep concern and regrets over Japan's release of video footage, and reaffirmed that her warship did not target STAR-180 against Japanese patrol aircraft. If true, the Japanese aircraft could have been targeted by the destroyer's MW-08 radar, typically mobilized for search mission, which does have fire control function as well, however not linked with any weapon on that day. If Japan discloses the frequency band, we can find the truth behind the case. Unfortunately, Japan is refusing to do so by reason of military secret. Last but not least, there's no sense of urgency both in the move of the aircraft and in the voice of the operator after its alleged discovery of a destroyer's radar directed at the plane itself. Even the aircraft was approaching the destroyer after that, which is quite bizarre because evasion flight is a common response to being locked by FC radar, such as STAR-180 directly linked with missiles. Furthermore, the video clip also showed that the Japanese patrol plane was flying only about 150 meters above the South Korean warship, a flight that could be seen as posing a threat to the destroyer engaging in the rescue operation. Japanese media reported that Prime Minister Shinzo Abe had ordered the Ministry of Defense to release the video to elevate his declining approval rating. We don't know whether those reports are correct or not. Furthermore, we cannot be sure whose claim is true. However, the radar row is certainly adding fuel to the fire in bilateral ties that have already flared since the Supreme Court of Korea ruled in favor of forced labor victims by Japanese firms during World War II last year. Relations have also deteriorated due to Seoul's decision to dissolve a Tokyo-funded foundation on wartime sexual slavery. More critics are saying that Seoul and Tokyo should stay calm and cooperate with each other in the face of North Korea's nuclear and missile threat. What are your thoughts on this? Make sure you let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching Korea Now, and like and subscribe for more.